Welcome to the Inside Story, and today we have got an absolute treat for you. In a series, Mark Bodycoat, the Public Trustee for South Australia, joins us. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks very much for having me.
Now, Mark, just to get us underway, some background. Who are you?
Well, the Public Trustee is an office created by statute, and it's created by the Public Trustee Act. The first Public Trustee was appointed in 1881, and the whole purpose of the office is to manage the affairs of people who can't manage their own affairs. Now that can be either under a will or, in the case of a lot of people, as a living estate where they still are depending on us to provide for their income and the means of living generally.
Mark, what we're trying to investigate today, and hopefully over the series, is exactly that, the role that you play, because it's very big in real estate. How many transactions would you do a year in property?
In terms of property sales, it varies, but usually in the range 200 to 300 properties.
Per year?
Per year.
So that would make you potentially the largest seller of property?
We'd like to think that we're one of the largest, and that gives us some real expertise in managing property. I mean, in addition to selling the properties, we actually manage up to 1,300 properties at any one particular time. And they're usually parts of people's estates that we're looking after for them.
Now, in terms of the Public Trustee Office, I personally think it's not very well understood, because we only really see from our point of view, in the property sector, your properties come on the market as someone that sells a lot of property. But what else do you do? Because the part that perhaps most people never hear about would be where you haven't died, so it's not a will in that sense. But what other duties do you have? Because we sell properties where the decisions are being made for people that are not capable of doing it. What's the story with that?
In fact, that's a very large fraction of our business. We have approximately 4,000 clients, living clients, whose affairs we administer on a day-to-day basis. We actually buy and sell property for those people, mainly selling because they're not capable of looking after it in many instances. But there are some who can, and so we buy and sell quite a lot of property for living clients as well. The bulk of our business falls into three groups. There's the administration of deceased estates, there's the administration of long-term trusts, and often those are related to deceased estates. And then there's the administration of living affairs of individuals. So
for the average person who maybe has not got a will or has got an old will, who would use your services? Is it just people who haven't done a will because that's what you're known for picking up the pieces, or is it people that also want you to create one and then manage it?
Yeah, there's a mixture of things. Firstly, we do get quite a deal of walk-in traffic because we are associated with making wills. We're known very well as being an office that makes wills. But in addition to that, we also look after wills for people whose affairs we look after while they're alive as well. So some people, even though they're not capable of managing their own affairs, have actually already made wills by the time they come to us, and we'll look after their wills for them as well.
Now, more with Mark Bodycoat next week. And next week we cover something I think is going to be of interest to a lot of people. It's probate. Sounds boring, but it's actually how long it takes before you get your hands on the cash. So I know that sounds a bit awful, but the reality is that when we are selling the properties, the question is always asked, how long before we actually see the cash? So we cover that off next week, so make sure you stay tuned. Now, the Public Trustee have all sorts of services. You'll find out more about it. Just one of those quiet, unassuming, but they do so much work in the space of property, and it's good for us all to see that. Now we go behind the blinds.